Congress.
Welcome to our November 16th board meeting. This is recorded and will be loaded on our website. Call to order per ORS 192.610 to 192.690. Per ORS 192.650. Invocation will be by Chaplain Gabriel.
Well, Father, we thank you again for the opportunity to serve and for the honor to protect and to be a blessing to our community. We want to thank you for protecting us and for being with us, for going with all the firefighters and EMTs who go out and come in. We ask that you be with us now as we take care of the business of the department. We ask that you be with our thoughts, with our words, with our thinking, that we be able to make the decisions that you need us to make in order to serve the community better and to be faithful stewards of the resources that have been put at our disposition. And we ask this in the name and merit of Jesus. Amen.
Thanks, Luke.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Director Day.
Here.
Director Oliver.
Here.
Director McAdoo. Present. Director Silva.
Present.
Miller is present. Any changes to the agenda? Okay. Business items, B1, consent agenda. Accept and approve the October 20th, 2023 meeting minutes and approve bills to be paid as presented.
I make a motion to approve the bills as presented and accept and approve the October 20th, 2023 minutes.
Oh, second. Motion by Director Oliver and a second by Director McAdoo. Call for the vote. Director Day.
Yes.
Director Silva.
Yes.
Director Oliver.
Yes.
Director McAdoo.
Yes.
And Director Miller is a yes. B2, budget amendment resolution. We got paperwork on that.
So you have in front of you the resolution number 23-05, and this is a supplemental budget to amend the current budget document for two things. The first one being we put a revenue line item in there to have a place to put our fee schedule revenue. That doesn't currently exist, and we needed to have that in there. Was there any further explanation for that, Nikki, or about pretty much it in the show? Okay, so it's an adjustment we needed to make that we didn't really think about in the beginning. We thought the fee schedule process might take us longer. We've made good progress on it. So the $10,000 that's there is more or less a placeholder. We really don't know what that's going to look like yet, but we're anticipating we'll have at least that much. The second piece to that is to move $400,000 from our capital reserve to professional services under materials and services, and that would be to pay for the architect for an RFP for station design. I don't know if we'll need $400,000, but we're not really sure what that's going to come out to yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a safe number.
Mhm.
If we have to revisit it, we can do that. But since we're doing a resolution for the revenue, this was the time to do the resolution for that. We may not get to that this year, but we have that there and we have it available. Questions, comments?
Have we picked the architect yet?
No, we're finishing the RFP. I met with, Director Miller and, Lieutenant Ben Scoder 2 weeks ago, and, we went through it again and got some more details ironed out, so I still have to finish the document.
$400,000 just seems.
That's to take it further than that.
But what?
That's more than just the architecture of it too.
What else is it?
Well, we talked about taking it to shovel ready. So I think Chiefs wanted to move enough funds over there to get through the whole process so that it would be a shovel ready project. Yeah, I remember.
Permits and everything?
Fees associated with the design of the fire station. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what they're being used.
Yes. But we have to talk to the city about that, about permit activities. So anyway,
He's answering that, yeah. You kind of answered that, that was my question,
Yeah.
does that include permit fee?
yeah, it's just where to go. Yeah, I'm not willing to spend $400,000 on architect just for a design of a fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I don't think it's gonna be that expensive either, but this will,
better to put more than have to come back.
That gets us to June 30th next year.
right, I'm not overly optimistic we're gonna meet that anyhow this year, but
Yeah.
we might, so.
Mhm.
And the
Money's still
chief would
there.
come to us to spend money.
We won't have a whole lot of options there.
Yeah, that's all I mean.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's not. It's just a pile of money sitting there.
Yeah.
I just like to see budgets be as accurate as possible. I don't want to put $400,000 into a budget and say we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
And, somebody gets that, and that just seems super excessive.
Yeah.
To me. I've worked with architects and engineers,
Would we pay for the last one? John, do you remember? I think it was like 25 or 6,000 for that one design that we did.
The Taj Mahal,
the
Yeah.
2012 one.
Well, I don't remember what year it was, but I remember it being like 20 something, maybe the 20 lows.
I'd be guessing that
Yeah,
probably there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I can't remember yesterday.
Moving this money from one place to another doesn't affect the interest we draw on it, does it?
No,
It's on paper.
yeah,
It's on paper for us.
Yeah.
it's gonna stay there. until we use it.
Still something gets done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. We looking for a motion?
Need a motion.
We would need a motion to accept the resolution, but he'll have to read that first paragraph. of the resolution.
question. So that line item is just specifically for the station or for
No, it's professional fees,
fees, so it could be lawyers, it could be whatever.
right?
So I mean, it's a line item that we can use.
Yeah, there's a number of things that go into that. So we had like our C800 payment that we did this year, that was in professional fees.
So it's not just the building and the architect, it's for all professional services, which could be, like you say, for the C800 group and.
we already had 185,000 in there to that account for the C800.
Right. Right, that was accounting for the full amount of the C800 overage shortage, which was, we paid about half of that. Cause that's all it was due.
Half of the 185.
No, it was, the anticipated bill was like 126 and we ended up paying 46.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less than 50, I think.
Yeah, it was considerably less, so.
So you said just this first paragraph here, that's it?
Is that right, Matthew? You only have. to-
Yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah, I would think that,
secondary part.
You don't have to read all that though for the sake of the.
I'm fine with it because it's just a placeholder, like I understand. But I just want it to be known, like, I think 400,000. Anybody's supposed to, it's super excessive.
Oh, sure, no, that's understood, but.
Yeah, we
but-
we just did a development
You
project.
could
and it
use
was
the whole thing.
that's.
Use like KS, and, I mean, it was a- from-
Explanation.
with EQ all the way through,
That would-
it was 30,000, they were inspectors and.
Since it is,
Engineering, everything.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be more than that.
Right.
Resolution number 23-05, Oregon Revised Statute ORS 294.471 allows a local government to prepare a supplemental budget when an occurrence or condition that was not known at the time of the budget was prepared requires a change in financial planning. The governing body must adopt the resolution to adopt the supplemental budget and make any necessary appropriations. Supplemental budget explanation. This resolution purposes a supplemental budget for Estacada Rural Fire District number 69 for fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $400,000. Additional resources will be added to reflect the newly adopted fee schedule, and requirements will be adjusted for the unanticipated costs of the new fire station design. A revenue line entitled Fees for Service will reflect the newly adopted fee schedule for the district's fire prevention division. The district will budget for $10,000 of revenue in fees for service line. The district will move funds from the non-allocated future capital expenditures line to materials and services in the amount of $400,000. These funds will be used for fees associated with the design of the new fire station.
I make a motion to accept resolution number 23-05.
I second it.
Call for the vote. Director Day?
Yeah.
Director Oliver?
Yes.
Director McAdoo?
Yeah.
Director Silva?
Yes.
And Director Miller, yes. Board policy review.
Three. We have two policies in front of you. One is the drug-free workplace. There was an existing one. Trying to remember where we were at, because I did this, I think, just after the last meeting. There was an existing one, but it just needed to be completely reworked, so that's what you have in front of you. And this would be at the board level, and then at our level for the operational, there's another drug policy or drug SOG. And then the second one is monthly bills to be paid, and that one is fresh as of today because that's going to affect our next item on the agenda. And that is the process that we outlined, talked about at the last meeting about how we pay the bills and what it looks like. So if you guys need a minute to read through that one's fresh, so.
The vehicle use one that's done from last time and we're good.
Yeah, that one's,
Okay.
yeah. Should have been omitted.
Credit card charges, chief, do they get a purchase order team?
Yes, everything gets a purchase order. Yep. You spend $1, you get a purchase order.
So like PG and everything, it's a,
Yeah,
those don't.
That's an exception, right?
yeah.
So
That's a
utility
recurring.
bills, recurring, right?
Utilities don't get,
So if it's not, if it's a recurring bill, it just runs through.
Right.
we're being invoiced the pay center.
Then you feel,
We bought.
yeah, you bet. Mhm.
There's some-
Do you test for drones? As a pre-employment?
Yeah, that's part of their physical when they start.
Do we, is it policy include if somebody backs into the building? Based on a for a drug test, we do that anymore?
Yeah, that's,
Cause that was, I remember that being done 10 years ago, you know?
yeah, so that's in the operational SOG at that
Okay.
point, which has got to be reworked, but I needed this one to be in play to move that one forward.
Okay, I was just curious if they're still doing that.
Now, the school district, the counties, they do that. I think the city does it too.
Yeah, I think,
There's some kind of accident or something,
Mhm.
so
right away go for a drug test.
Yeah, there's a whole nother process for that.
Do we have a charge for EFT for paying bills? For occurrence?
Not currently.
Okay.
So I got a question for you, chief. I mean, I like the drug-free workplace document, and it pertains to employees, volunteer staff, and elected officials. And then at the very end, it says failure to cooperate, and then it talks about it and says that you will be subject to discipline. Who would discipline a board member if they showed up to? Well, that's kind of a valid question. I mean, right?
Oh,
Are you
I mean,
thinking of pushing the line?
No.
No, I'm not.
Hey, Matthew, I think the other four of us would.
Yeah,
change
yeah.
it.
Okay.
That's
See this little
about all we
hammer?
could do.
I believe the public would take care of that once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once there was film at 11.
Yeah.
I've had whiskeys with you before, so.
It was a long time ago,
It was.
but we did.
I think that's what made John straight.
What about number 5? It's like using alcohol, possession of alcohol, it's all about alcohol. And marijuana is not an illegal drug in Oregon, but what if someone came
Yeah, that
To work.
is
stoned?
a good point.
And then,
So that's gonna fall under the controlled substances because it's still federally not allowed.
right.
And when we accept a federal grant, we have to comply with their rules,
Gotcha.
not the states. So THC doesn't apply there.
this is just a question out of curiosity now. Let's say somebody has a car accident. Do you
Yeah.
do mandatory drug testing and alcohol testing?
We did for Jason Crowell. Remember, he got in an accident with the pickup. They removed him from duty, and then the duty officer drove him to one of the hospitals where they did a full panel, and luckily he was cleared, but
Right.
so.
No, that's common, but again, I needed this in place so I can fix the current procedure internally for that. Because if somebody goes and I don't know, a tree branch scratches the side, does that
Sure.
qualify? You know, by what gets defined there? Yeah, it does. But do we need that? No. If somebody crumples the fender, that's a different story. You know, if there's somebody gets hurt out of it, yeah, that needs to happen. So there's a point there where it's got to be a must versus a discretionary type of thing.
I have a question about that marijuana use. So John and Ken, when we were in that bowling class. You don't remember being there? No. Remember, he was saying that whatever law, federal or state, benefits the employee. So I question what you said about federal law, because if the state law, from what he says, benefits the employee, that's the law that they'll go under.
I think item number 3 here pretty well explains that.
Yeah, well, the law that applies and what we do internally for discipline are two different things.
Looking at item 3 there,
Yeah.
while the district has no intention of unnecessarily interfering with the private lives of its employees, so that covers legal grounds. The district expects its employees to report for duty and remain on duty in a condition to perform their work, training in a safe, effective, and efficient manner. So that would cover alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
The big controversy going on is with THC is, somebody can do it on the weekend and they can go to work later. They're not under the influence, but it's still in their system.
Yeah.
And they can't differentiate between your system and under the influence. They're two different things.
And the timing thing too.
Yeah, so that's the big issue with THC and doesn't apply, and there is some new stuff coming out that it sounds like they're not far off from being able to tell if you're under the influence versus if it's just in your system.
I heard it's right around the pipe.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's gonna change things dramatically for all of that. But either way, as it stands right now, we don't have a way to differentiate. That's, if it's in your system, well, you must be under the influence type of thing, but.
Seems to me, I was trying to think back, the federal government for bus drivers, truck drivers, stuff like that, had to be free from alcohol or anything for 8 hours before they punched in it. I think that's still correct, yeah.
I've set my alarm clock many a time.
So self-employed, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Only kidding. I only tried it once, I never inhaled, okay? Only kidding.
So are we ready to adopt these, or is there anything else that anybody wants changed or anything?
I got one thing is, should we have anything in here about positive pay and how we're protecting
Well,
our fraud, or is the
I
fraud
think-
policy gonna protect that?
This isn't, that's in the fraud policy versus this is the procedure and process for.
Yeah, for just how
approving
the bills.
Okay, all right.
I would like to make a motion that we adopt the drug-free workplace. And then adopt it this November 16th of 23. And adopt the vehicle use adopted 1090. Adopt the monthly bills to be paid 11/16 of 23.
Second.
We have a motion from Director Silva and a second from Director Day. Call for the vote. Director Oliver?
Yes.
Director McAdoo?
Yes.
Director Day?
Yes.
Director Silva?
Yes.
And Director Miller is a yes. So we can put these right in our book, right?
Yeah, there's no changes to it, so we
Okay.
can keep those.
All right. ACH implementation.
So we've discussed it for, this is our forward meeting. I think we've been talking about ACH. But we wanted to have this policy in place before we'll move forward with the ACH, implementation. Technically, we already do it with our, utilities, but, this would expand, allow that to be expanded for other bills that we can pay electronically, with writing checks. So in order to do that, the board has to make a motion and make it formally happen.
I was just doing the ACH implementation.
Yeah, to expand it.
To expand it, the board has to approve expanding an existing thing we already do.
It's not actually approved, so technically we shouldn't be doing that as it is.
Oh, okay.
Give me a
This is gonna-
quick briefing on that again, just real quick, bring me up to date on that
On
again.
the ACH,
Yeah, I know we talked about it,
So we were having an issue with positive pay.
yes.
So Nikki brought forth ACH. What I kind of want to circle back to is that there's gonna be some checks that we still have to write. Are you gonna do the workaround for positive pay on that, so we have protection on those checks, or what are we gonna do there?
I'll continue doing whatever it is that is decided. So currently, I'm doing the positive pay. It's still rejecting checks at US Bank level though.
Yeah, we have something with that needs to be changed though, right, Ken? Is it saying pay all instead, or what's she saying? Is it pay all?
I know single points getting revised. You've seen that.
Mhm.
Did you do the tour yet?
Yeah, I'm already using it.
I haven't done the tour yet.
Yeah.
The new one in my system, but I have to look at that and see. I don't know if that's gonna make positive pay better, I don't know if it's supposed to.
They are coming out with a new positive pay for ACH.
Okay.
It hasn't come out yet. So what that tells me is that the old one's probably going to slowly die out. They have 0 upgrades planned for that program. It's never gonna work right. There's always gonna be issues with it until it slowly fades out.
Roll out for check writing. You're talking about for ACH and check writing, supposed to be new, coming new.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I can't say because I don't work there, but I think they say it's an ACH positive pay. So I don't know if that means it's ACH inclusive or if it's just for ACH, but I'm sure they wouldn't just not protect.
I just want to make sure we have the protection on the checks that we write. Protection.
I agree.
So
So
it all
Key
needs
Bank-
to have.
A lot of-
protection.
Key Bank's out, they're not. gonna deal with
Yeah.
this, so, yeah.
So I feel like we approve this and we see where we get 2 months from now and see how it works. And if there's any issues, we reevaluate the whole thing at that point. Just because we approve it, I mean, there's no reason why we can't go back and evaluate it if there's any issues. Just as long as we have the fraud protection. No.
At all.
You got any questions, Matt?
I think we're gonna hurt a positive pay. We've never had an issue with fraud protection. I mean, when there's fraud in our accounts, like the banks
Who does,
cover it, they're shared.
who does Reliance use for bank? Who does Reliance use for their bank?
Wells and KeyBank
KeyBank,
and do some US Bank also.
okay. Because KeyBank has positive pay. US Bank has positive pay, I'm assuming. I mean, it's their own systems, but I'm assuming Wells Fargo would too. I mean, they all have to do it. They all have to
Never heard
provide
it.
fraud protection.
Never heard
I mean, in a sense, ACH kind of takes care of a bunch of problems. So I mean, implementing it's a great thing. Sure, right now.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I mean, we need to make her job easier.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And the less checks she writes every month, the easier.
So effectively, we're already doing it.
Yeah.
But it just we need to formalize it.
Yeah.
Formalize it
I'm good.
and expand it to as many people, many companies as we can.
A lot of our vendors are gonna be very happy to know that we are able to do this for them. A lot of them don't even accept, like, have a mailbox to send checks to anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's decent.
All right, so we need a motion.
I make a motion to expand to make it official that we are using ACH. And to expand the use of ACH
Implementation.
implementation.
Second.
Got a motion by Director Oliver and a second by Director Day. Call for the vote. Director Silva,
Yes.
Director McAdoo.
Yes.
Director Oliver,
Yes,
Director Day,
Yes.
and Director Miller's a yes. Staff committee reports, chief's report.
Chief's report is in your packet. We had 132 incidents in October, 1,385 so far for the year. We got our annual hose and ladder testing done, so that is all completed for the year. Took delivery of the new water tender, which is now parked right out here on the curb, so if you haven't had a chance to look at it or crawl around on it, so you brought that out there on purpose, so. Training is started on it, doing the in-service, we gotta get drive time. But I'm thinking it's probably gonna be more like the first of the year by the time we actually have it in service, holidays and everything else, but moving along. Lieutenant Tristan Hall is a volunteer of the month for October. Mark Johnston is our new prevention volunteer, and he's helping Sarah, and he's gotten himself certified, so he is doing some of the more basic inspections. Good. When you provided a volunteer engine to Hoodland, they had a planned event where they needed coverage, so we covered them for a day. We started an EMR class where we have 8 volunteers attending. That's emergency medical responder. We had our annual open house last month. We had a count of about 250 people that attended. Highlights in here. We did have over the summer during the dry spell, we had somebody attempt to start a little fire down here along the river. Pursued that, and we did get an arson 1 conviction out of that. It went to court. Sarah spent some time on that, and we actually got a conviction. We haven't been having a whole lot of success with that here in the last couple of years, and this one stuck. So that was really cool to see happen. Tax money for the fiscal year started to roll in, so it's starting to show up. We're working on a capital depreciation schedule, something we really don't have a good handle on, but we're going to here shortly. Completed fire chief interviews for our firefighter candidates for upcoming vacancies. We hired Jen Purcell and Kendra Kavanaugh. They're both our current volunteers. And our seasonal program has come to an end for the year, but they were able to finish hydrant testing of all of our fire hydrants. So now we have good data, good information there, and we're able to forward that on to ISO for our review that's going on now. Questions?
When you flow test those, you actually have the gallons per minute and all that data?
Yeah, actually, Angel's working on inputting that data right now.
Yeah,
But
that's quite a bit to do. And they do a pressure also, or is it just?
you get a
flow?
static pressure and a residual
Static,
pressure.
okay, good.
remember the hydrant up at, Copeland and, the road and goes down to your, toward the back.
Isn't that Reagan? That Reagan that comes in?
Really goes back, the back way to your house.
Oh, my house.
What's that?
Oh, well, it's got weird caps on it, but it's because of reservoir. It's some way for them to test.
Well, no, but that used to be a really hot one.
Okay.
Remember that? Yeah. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, it's direct, so I think it's, yeah,
That's a hot one.
it's a hot one.
Always remember
Years
that.
ago, we tested the nozzle faucet on there, 90 pounds.
Down at the industrial park, it's like 120.
Remember, we used to test the flow with that device that it would hit it and then it would tell us how much
Yeah,
gallons per minute.
seemed to work pretty good.
Yeah.
Remember we used to dial a phone like this?
Yeah. Sounded.
Moving on.
Financial,
The operator would remind me to tell her to call her Sally down the road.
financial report, Nikki?
As presented. Happy to answer.
Are you seeing anything that's got you concerned at all in budgetary numbers or anything?
Actually doing great.
Anything for Nikki?
We pay the volunteer reimbursement or that,
Low set.
goes up quarterly.
Quarterly, yeah.
What I thought it was.
That went out what, last check signing, didn't it?
Yeah.
Not this one, the one before.
Previous, yeah.
Yeah, October's. Yeah,
October's checks.
I remember seeing it. Ready to move on to public comments?
Any questions?
Activities online, so.
No.
Board comments? Director Oliver and Director McAdoo and myself, we attended the OFDDA conference. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It was
It was a
insightful.
good, very good conference.
Yeah. There was definitely some things that I learned in that.
Yeah.
Very professional speakers and classes and whatnot.
Yeah. I think that rule that's come out that board members have to go to training once a year.
Did they have any more information on it?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah.
I think he said
They did
December is
mention
what
it.
they
They did
expected.
mention that, board members are
They're gonna implement it in December.
No, they expected to have better
better info.
training, more information on it by December.
On how to implement it.
Right.
Believe it's next year.
Yeah, starts in January.
That's what, 2805 was it?
I think
House
so.
Bill, I think it's House Bill 20.
But those trainings are good to go to.
Yeah, I didn't, that's the first one I went to. I didn't know.
Refreshers and what's new.
Walking there was pretty brutal in the wind and rain.
We've had SDAO come and give training for us. Like,
Yeah.
for duties and whatnot, things like that too.
I don't know, dinner line, maybe.
It'd be interesting to see if we can get them to come in for House Bill 2805.
They love giving training.
Really?
Yeah, because it decreases their liability.
Yeah, maybe something we should look at for the 5 of us.
They'll come right out and do a presentation of what they know, where they're going and where they're at.
Then
Yep.
3.
Yep.
Correspondence correspondence is in the package. It's at the back.
I did forget one thing on the board comment.
Yeah.
The community breakfast is this Saturday. At the Pleasant Valley Baptist Church, have been putting that on for 10 years, 8 to 11. It's a free community breakfast.
Okay.
And then the first Saturday in December will be the breakfast at the Springwater Grange, the monthly breakfast.
The Springwater Grange, what did they serve?
everything.
pancakes,
$8, biscuits and gravy, pancake,
hash browns.
eggs, hash browns, coffee, juice, all you can eat, $8. It's kind of a fun event, neighbors, community, people come in, so you kind of catch up, you haven't seen anybody for a month or so.
8 AM,
7 to 11,
7 to
8 to 11 at the church,
Oh,
7 to 11 at the spring water drink.
okay, so you.
At the church.
Church up here, yeah. Okay. I think I'll go up there for breakfast.
There is oh gosh, I wish I could remember. The free Thanksgiving dinner too, where's that? I think that's at Assembly of God. I'll check it. I'm usually up top.
Community items, we have the Escada Christmas light parade, the tree lighting at City Hall, and then pictures with Santa at our fire station. And I don't remember the times on that.
The light parade is the 9th, same day as our Christmas party. The tree lighting at City Hall, I don't think I've seen what day that was. You know, Ken?
December 2nd.
The second?
Yeah.
Second, December 2nd. And then the pictures with Santa.
This comes off December.
Oh, is the 9th. Oh, yeah.
Another item on the 9th too, and you can't make them all, but they're bringing back the festival of choirs up at the auditorium in the junior high school. They had that every year for years and years, and then COVID shut it down, so they brought it back this year. Everything's on the 9th.
Sounds like it's taking.
The iPad charger and the conditions with batteries.
Well, we're gonna go into executive session. RS 192.660 to conduct deliberations for labor negotiations.
Great.